Okay. Okay, good evening. Good evening. If you can hear me, please just drop a comment on the Facebook channel. Let's see if I can see that. I just want to be sure you can hear me. Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. Okay, or if you're on. Hello. Okay, we'll be kicking off right now. Sorry for the little delay. We had some internet setback, but if you're up. Sorry for the little delay. Okay, so I think we're ready. Well, it's not a very formal class. Okay, so we just want to have some conversation around something. You know, I was having a conversation with my staff yesterday, and he said something that actually struck me, and I felt it was important for us to highlight it in the public square. So that's why we're here today. So it's not a long live session. So it's something that we just want to discuss. And if you look at the caption or if you saw the design, we talked about positioning and pursuing. Everyone here should already be used to these two words. They don't need so much definition, and we don't need to start going academical, though it's always not my style to go academical. Sorry, a second, please. Like I told you, it's not a formal class, so I have the liberty to drink water. So I just want everyone to be relaxed. You too be sipping on a glass of fresh juice. Is a very easy conversation we want to have this evening. And if you know anyone that should be here, just invite them to join us. You could invite your friends, your landlord, and your neighbors. Just share on your status, and if you are on my group on Facebook and WhatsApp, you could just drop the message that we are live. The truth is, oftentimes people think that information does not really have a price tag, whether it's free or paid for. The information you get in Harvard might not be so much different from what you get in OAU in Nigeria. But the truth is, the ambience, the environment is the value that is perceived. So sometimes when we host free programs like this, some people tend to undermine it, but forgetting that you are a product of all the information you've gathered. I'm saying this with statistics. Over 70% of the information you're operating with were informal. The education you pass through just is about how you mathematics. The other 70% of why you are doing what you do is actually informal education. That was the interaction you had with your neighbors growing up, the interaction you had with the driver taking you to school. All of those informal information has built up your personality. I often say people are made up of nature and nurture. By nature, you have a default DNA that you do things certain way, you perceive life certain kind in a certain prism. But by nurture, your environment has conditioned you to think this in a certain way. So when we bring forth information like this, and some people take it with a pinch of salt, it just because they've not consciously know that they are operating, they're actually the result of all the information that they've gathered. So carefully going for the right information from time to time means that you are brainwashing yourself. I often define words differently. The first time you hear the word brainwash, what do you think? You think negative because someone must have told you, you are, especially for the Christian, you've been brainwashed in that your church. But being brainwashed is actually a good thing. It means that all the tossings, all the bad information that's been in your head, then you've willfully put your head under a certain instruction so that you can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That is being brainwashed. So you're having superior information to erase all the bad informations you've gathered over the years. So it's actually a good thing when you've been brainwashed positively. So without further ado, we jump into the subject matter of today. I'll just try and do a really little bit of definition before I go into the conversation fully. We talked about positioning and then pursuing. So let's start from pursuing. Just by the word pursue, you already know what it means. Just by the word pursue is an active word, is a very vibrant and forward-looking word. This involves actively striving towards achieving either an end goal or success. So the word there is actively striving. Those are two strong words. You are striving, that means you're putting in, you are toiling. So it is driven by effort, it's driven by strength, you understand? So that's what it means. So when you're pursuing something, maybe fortunately you entered the vehicle and you forgot your phone and you're pursuing the driver, you're using strength, you're using everything in you to try to recover the phone. I think I will come to that example I just made, leaving your phone in the car. So when I finish talking about positioning. So positioning, on the other hand, this focuses on preparing oneself for opportunity or for success by leveraging strength and strategic positioning. So, or strategic placement. So let's just use the same example. You forget your phone in the park and the driver has driven off, and you look at it, you ask the question around, they say, oh, this driver always come here. So once he drop people at the destination, he will come back to the park. So you wait for 1 hour for the driver to return with your phone. What you're doing was positioning for recovery of your phone. But the first one of taking the next available Okada or taking the next available car was pursuing your phone. The same goal, but different approach. And that's how we go about life. I think that really sums up our definition properly. So I didn't even know where that thought came from. So that's why I say it's a casual conversation, nothing academic tonight. Because the challenges we face in life are not by the books. They are unconventional. They hit at you any day, anytime. You leave the house in the morning with your plans and everything you plan to do, and something out of the blues just happened. So if you're not thinking on your feet, if you don't have life skills to be able to navigate, then you're going to be living by the books. Like my economics teacher said, you must do X, Y, Z. And life doesn't work in your textbook or the way it works in your head. Life works differently. Life is dynamic, and you must be that upwardly mobile in your thinking to be able to respond adequately to every challenge that you face or that comes your way every day. So we quickly go into the subject matter. Why are we talking about positioning versus pursuing? Like I said, the word that triggered me yesterday was my staff saying that over 75% of Nigerians, or by extension Africa, actually pursue wealth, pursue success, you know. And the thing just resonated with me, like, that's true. We are all raised up with two words, and then anytime we have those words, we think that we are really doing well. The word is hustle and grind. Just say, what's up boy with the hustle? The word hustle itself already tells you, it looks like you putting in a whole lot of effort. And I'm like, how many people have really hustled to make wealth? And when I'm talking about wealth here, I'm talking about complete wellness, money, health, time, family, everything in place. I'm not talking about the mismatched achievement where you seem to have money on one extreme, gotten through whatever means, and every other not. So I'm talking about a balanced life. How many people have been able to hustle to do that? Check all the hustlers you know. Something is given. Their family time either is given for their family, or you find out that maybe they are lacking in terms of their dressing. I've seen hustlers that look shabby but seem to have money. That's where we coin out words like money misroad. Then I've seen some that you find out that they don't even have a spiritual life, so they just toiling because of the word also. Then on the other hand, you hear grinding and grinding. Are you a grinding machine? Uh, Taking it tonight, so it's fun. We are here as a family. I wish I could see you. I wish we are on Zoom where we could talk back. So it's just like it's a monologue, but I'll manage. One of these days, we'll put ourselves in one room so we can interact properly. So a scripture comes to mind. Sorry, today is Sunday, so by extension, we can use. I believe every business principle actually took root from the Bible. So we were talking about positioning as against pursuing, because by strength shall no man prevail. If you go to Proverbs chapter 30, 24 to 28, when Bible, we should go to these four little animals that are exceedingly small, but yet they are wise. If you read through that scripture, there were two animals that Bible made reference to there. He talked about the ant, he talked about the conies, he talked about the grasshopper, I guess, and he also talks about the spider. But the two animals there, when he talks about he said, but it is a feeble foe, but yet positions himself in the rocks. Then he talks about the spider. So let me talk about the conies first of all. It's not an animal that is very popular in Nigeria here, but you can Google it and check. The animal is so weak and feeble, but yet what happens? They stay between the cracks of the rock. When I heard these scriptures some many years ago, I researched about the animal and I discovered how man is able to survive very difficult terrain because of proper positioning. Because of proper positioning, and that will bring us to the end. What are the things we should position for? I will make a list of why are we talking about positioning. What should you be positioning for in life? So I will talk about that when we are rounding off. But first, the coney's position is it doesn't have the strength to outrun the other predators. It doesn't even have the strength to outrun the eagle, because it's one of the major predator of the coney, because they live on the mountain. But what they do, they position themselves within the rock. Then he talked about the spider that finds himself in the king's palace. And I was looking, sometimes we say, if you were an animal, which animal would you like to be? I'm sure as prestigious as lion is, except there is a zoo, there might not be a lion in Aso, there might not be a lion in the White House, but you cannot rule out that there is no spider. No matter how much they do fumigation, give it a few weeks, a spider will appear from nowhere. So Bible talks about they find themselves in the king's palace. That is strategic positioning. How are they able in the highest offices in the world? And then Bible says he used the little things of this word to confirm his word. So sometimes when you look at this animal, it just gives you how are we supposed to operate. There's a scripture, I think Proverbs 24. So we say, you slugger, go to the ant and learn. So if God is telling you go to the ant animal and learn. I think we should pay attention because we think that we are superior being and everything, but you don't even know that all these other creatures, they have certain natural instincts. They are still operating God-given instincts that we can learn from. Even the Bible calls, it said the ants are a people. That means these things that you are recognizing, you can learn from them. If God people, that means is a different race that we can learn from, especially like the principle of storing for winter or for summer. You know, the ant has that abilities. Like these are some of the things that we should learn. Squirrel does that also, ability for them to store. Meanwhile, of humans can't even do common savings, talk less of saving for investment. You understand? That's that. I'm talking about because you are in a position, you might find out that you will hustle into poverty. I'm going to say that for the first time. I think some of my staffs are here, will be the first time they are hearing me. There's a staff of mine that has earned, okay, that has worked with me for a couple of years. I think when he started working with me, he was earning maybe in dollar terms would be about $200, but I remember dollars should be maybe about 150 thereabout. So he would have been earning, at a time he was earning like $400. Then in present terms, despite the salary has double or triple within the last couple of years, his income is actually about less than $100. Can you imagine that? He is locally rich and internationally poor. I think I just gave you an assignment. Go and check your own salary. If you have consistently worked in an organization for over 5 years and your salary has been increased, you will find out that you are locally rich but internationally poor. Remember, border was man-made. God did not create us and keep us in Nigeria, keep the other one in Ghana. No, it's from you are to the ends of the world. Border, that's why the true wealth is when you conquer borders, when you can go where you want to go, whenever you want to go. So you are no longer limited by man's border station. So, okay, do that mathematics as at when your salary was whatever it was. How much was it in dollar? That's your international value. That is actually your real value. But the local that you have, even if the money has been doubled, will be less than 50%. Then how do you out hustle that economy that is actually nosediving? Have I rattled someone? How do you out hustle that economy that is actually nosediving? That someone could actively work, double his salary within a few years or triple the salary and move from as much as $400 to becoming less than $100. Isn't that funny? I remember my car, the guy that comes to wash my car, when he started working with me, he was earning close to about, in international value, was earning close to about $100. And as at now, I'm not sure his money is even up to maybe about $30 or so. So how do you, that means he's now earning about 30% of what he was earning without doing anything wrong. So if these information are not highlighted, then you surprised that you will hustle and hustle and hustle, and you will pursue and pursue and pursue. The thing that you are pursuing will be eluding you because you are not strategically positioning yourself for success. What you are doing is success is like a man pursuing his shadow. You can't really catch it because everywhere you turn, it turns the other way. But when you position properly, you find that it will fall into your lot. So we're going to talk about that. I remember, I don't know how many of you were in my class last week. I think I'll just give that analogy again for the benefit of those that have heard it before. Let it sink in again. I talked about proper positioning of the crocodile that gives it the ability to live over 100 years, while the lion, which is one of the most enviable animal in the forest, lives just because of the strategy that it uses. The strategy of the lion is to hunt, is to pursue. So the lion goes after his target and prey. And then God help him when he's still in his youthful age and strength, he's able to do that. But that of the crocodile is to position himself to make sure that he does not dissipate his energy, is properly aligned with his goals and vision, and he's looking at for opportunities. And when the opportunity comes, he takes advantage of it. And that's why the crocodile will stay there and live and live for over times five of how the lion will live. I don't know if anybody is getting what I'm saying. Am I speaking? Should we end the class now? Because it's like I'm speaking something that we don't like. Okay, quickly, let's just talk about five differences between pursuing and positioning, because now the next question is, okay, how do I position? What is the difference between pursuing and positioning for success that we're talking about? First, pursuing involve actively striving towards achieving goals. So if you see yourself always hustling and bustle, actively striving just to achieve a goal, you know that you are pursuing. And the funny thing about pursuing, let me quickly say this, is that it requires time and requires strength, and these are in amount. Your time is limited. You already have 24 hours in a day. You can't change it. You have 7 days in a week. You have 356, 65 days in a year. You can't change it. You only have a lifetime to achieve your lifetime opportunities. Are you with me? So you can't change that. So if you are using the resources that you cannot more increase, that means you're going to run out of strength or very soon. So that's why I see people actively pursuing. A bike man wakes up as early as he will wake up 4 a.m. in the morning and close by 10 p.m. at night. He's, as far as using strength and time, he is pursuing money, and there's only an amount that he can make. But so on the first one, on the other side, positioning focuses on preparing oneself for opportunity or success. While pursuing now, like I talked about, is actively striving towards it, but positioning is preparing oneself. For example, there are some people who are positioning themselves to be senators in 8 years' time. But what are they doing right now? They are writing for an honorable member. Every publication you see, they are the one writing it. They have an ambition for politics. Tell me, how can a politician with the high cost of politics? I was with a governorship aspirant of my state, Edo State, yesterday, in one of the political party, who actively, I'm in his kitchen cabinet, who planning his. But I was doing yesterday, and we were talking about the cost of running elections in Nigeria. One of the parties where he is running, is their form is 30 million naira to run for governorship. That's expensive. So if you sit down and you are pursuing and you say, let's go, let's go, let's go, I'm going to be a governor, you're going to pursue and you run out of strength, run out of steam. But imagine you have that ambition and you submit yourself to a sitting governor or someone who is aspiring governor. You say, I want to work for you for free. What are you doing? You are leveraging on your skills, whether you are a writer, whether you are a good communicator, whether you are a good social media analyst. You are using that. After you've saved your way a couple of years, opportunity will come up. So what happened? You positioned yourself for opportunity instead of pursuing that goal actively. Second one, pursuing is driven by individuals' effort and determination. So that's why you see a lot of people thinking that, oh, all the effort I put in and everything, and often is met with disappointment, because Bible says, by strength shall no man prevail. But why on positioning emphasizes on leveraging strength and strategic placement. So you are leveraging on your strength. I just talked about, for example, you're a good writer. I talked about, maybe, for example, you have some certain skills that someone needs or that an industry needs. What do? You leverage on those skills. What is leveraging? Everybody know what leverage is. Using what you have to upscale for the result that you envisage to get. Are you with me? So that is the second difference between positioning and pursuing. The third one, pursuing often involves setting specific So you see, I want to achieve this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So you have that short-term target of what you want to do. So anytime you see you're not looking into the future, because I tell people, in as much as 1 year goal is good, what about 10 years? Because every one of us had 5 years ago. So if we planned 5 years a long-term goals or 10 years long-term goal, by now maybe we would have been working in a broader and a better future than just immediate today. And some of us have shortchanged ourselves. We have eaten our future just because our goals are too short. There are some things you cannot do within 1 year, no matter how. You can't do it within 1 year. Some things you can't do within 1 month. So sometimes you must be able to look futuristically. I try to tell myself, as if I call myself a futurist, you must be able to have that sense of thinking ahead for a long term. Yes, you might have short-term goals, but anytime you see that all your goals are within a very short bracket, oh, I want to do this now, I want to marry now, how do you just wake up and say I must marry before Easter? That is part of pursuing. You want to pursue a woman now, pursue her into your house, and after you pursue her into your house, you pursue her out again. Why don't you say, okay, I want to marry. Okay, what am I going to do to attract the best woman? And then you become the kind of husband that the kind of woman you are looking for. Sorry, I'm going into life now. It's general. So from money to life and everything. So you become the kind of husband that will attract the kind of, it might not be April, it might be October, it might even be April. You will still go, but now you will achieve a better and a sweeter goal. So while setting short goals, positioning involves building a strong foundation and network for that same goal. And that is, so that means you spend time. I just talked about the marriage example. You are not building yourself, building character, being a better friend, being a better husband material for the same goal of marriage. And then you'll be surprised. Sorry, I want to use this. The sisters in the house, don't be angry, but there's a pattern I have seen. I have consistently seen ladies walked out of relationships saying the guy is not ready. The guy does not seem that one plus one is not adding up. And in 1 or 2 years, I see those guys getting married before the lady that walked out of the relationship. Yes, I know there are exceptions. Some that already had something they were holding on to, they just walked out and they got married. But I'm telling you, most of the time, 70% of the time, a lady that walked out of a relationship on the basis of the guy is not really ready yet, and they don't seem to have an option. I always say, don't leave something for nothing, whether it's work, whether it's relationship. As far as not threatening your life, as far as giving you something small, it is better than nothing, because your current work can be a stepping stone for the next job. So if it can pay your transport, if it keeps you busy, if it saves you from idleness, then it makes you meet people. It gives you further opportunity for exposure. Then hold on to it. Don't leave something for nothing. That's totally out of the books. So going back to what I was saying, so worked out of relationship, or they want to pursue another one because this one they've been here for 2 years and it doesn't look promising. Give it a few times a chance happening to them. But a few months, you see the guy, something just picked up and everything. Another young lady just come into his life and he's married. And the sister that said he was not ready, auntie is still doing makeup. And then you see they are now eating the food of sorrow. Are we together? So sorry, but I'm just trying to tell you that's the power of positioning yourself instead of pursuing, because they were not laying foundations for what they want to achieve. Number 4, pursuing it requires consistent action and perseverance. So that means for you to pursue consistently, you have to be. If you have to put in the same effort, the same work, 100% day in, day, and perseverance, that means you stay in there. That's how you pursue. But on the other hand, positioning in the same vein requires patience and strategic planning for long-term success. So imagine, instead of just every day you are toiling and everything, but you just think of you put some strategic planning in place and you are patient. That's what the crocodile does. Crocodile can water bank as early as maybe 9 p.m. in the night, waiting for the animals that will come the next morning, and it's just there buried. He's not pursuing, he's not running around the jungle, he's just there. He will even camouflage to the point that you will not even know a crop is there. Either it blends with the grass or it blends with the mud and everything. Are we together? So we're taking lessons from these animals. Are you with me? We're taking lessons from these animals. Have you not wondered how the ant knows that there is sugar on the floor and they all assemble in a straight line? They've not been running around pushing, but there's that. Anyway, let's quickly go to the last one because time is fast spent. I wanted to do this in 30 minutes. Your success is measured by achievement. When you are pursuing, you measure your success by, oh, I've been able to do this, I've been able to do this. That short-term achievement is what you use, is the yardstick for your success. But when you are positioning for success, your success is measured by influence and impact. So that means as someone who has been positioned, you're looking at the influence, the impact you've had over the last couple of years. So quickly, in rounding off, some people will not like me to round off. I'll talk about few things that we can position for, because somebody's like, okay, why do we need to position? Let me tell you, you cannot hustle your way to the top to be in the 1% of the 1%. You can't hustle your way there. What you can do is to position yourself there. First, what will you position for? You position for leadership. You don't come and say, I want to be a leader, I want to be this. No, you position for leadership. That means there are things that you can do that will make you a potential leader in whatever sector you want to be. Another thing you should position for that you shouldn't pursue is for safety. Safety is funny. I remember I told you about the conies. The conies, he hides himself in the rock. That means where the conies is positioned is important. I'm talking about life generally. Imagine some people, just because of money, stays in certain hotspot and certain area, or use certain avenue, either for means of transportation and everything. So you must position yourself for safety. So next time you're looking for accommodation, next time you are looking for a job, next time you are looking for a city to relocate with, one of the things you must position yourself for should be for safety. Then lastly, you must position yourself for opportunities. I always say opportunity of a lifetime must be utilized within the lifetime. You position yourself for opportunities. These are not more like buying and selling, you go for them. So you look out for an industry or an area or an expert and you're like, okay, there's value in this place. How do I position myself? Okay, I think I need to start taking courses in data analysis so that I will be relevant in the next 3 years for opportunity in this sector. Some of us, even our loved ones or our uncles, are in certain position, but we don't even have any skill to contribute to their ambition. You see, some of them are going for elective positions. Some of them have companies. We are living in their houses and we are not useful to them. When you knew that your uncle has the biggest manufacturing company in so when you were choosing your course in the university, why didn't you pick a course that would position you for a managerial role when you graduate? Nobody told you. You were not informed too. Now you are informed. Okay, I told you this is the one for humor anyway. So that's the thinking. You position for opportunities. The opportunities that will come to you that you are not prepared for, they will just be information. I often say that what is an opportunity for someone is an information to you because you were not prepared for it. As I am right now, if somebody say, oh, they need a tailor in Aso Rock or a fashion designer will be earning $1 million a year, prepared for the opportunity and information that will earn $1 million a year. It's an information to me. So what are those things that you really or you dearly want to achieve? I think it's time you start building up the skills. Acquisition are part of positioning for greatness. Strategic relationship are part of positioning for greatness. Working partnership are part of positioning for greatness. Learning to be in the community of like minds are part of positioning for greatness. Things that you want to do, find a way to associate with other people. I often say, be in the proximity of what you want. In the proximity, so be around the environment of the things you want. You cannot want A and B in Z. They are too extreme. You have 25 alphabet between them before you come and bring them. Is a yeoman's job. You might not be able to achieve that in a lifetime. So being within the proximity of what you want, that is positioning. So there's limited time, limited strength in rounding off now. If all you can do is just pursue, or for some of you have political ambition, how do you raise to pick up a phone for House of Assembly or 50 million? Then who knows you? But for now, part of positioning is campaign for someone. When you are moving from word to word, you are knowing you, they are seeing you, people are collecting your number. What are you doing? You are building up, you are using another man's. I often say this to my staff. I say employment is an opportunity for you to learn with another man's business while you're being paid. So you are using another man's money for the campaign running around. You are using another man's resources. You are using the, but you are selling your face. You are selling yourself. In 4 years, you come back and say, last time I was here 4 years ago with Honorable so and so. Today I'm here. I know your pains. I can, and they know your face. They've seen you before. You are not a newbie in the scene. That is positioning. Are you together? Remember, every pastor was once a church boy. So they moved from church boy instrumentalist, a Bible study leader, or and become a pastor. They were positioning. They were, the target was always becoming a pastor. But they can't just wake up and say, "I'm not a pastor," and pick up the Bible. Nobody will. But they've built capacity. They've built what's it called, a followership that eventually culminate in being a pastor. And that's what every target we have. We must find a way to that by self to become. If this session has been of value to you, make sure you drop a comment after the live when I post. I think I'll save it on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you so much for being part of it. I'm seeing a number of people online. I'm grateful for the opportunity to always give me audience. I don't see my soul more, but I believe that the little that we know, if we can get that. Charles B in blessed memory will always say, if each one can reach one, then each one can teach one. So there are things that we can teach. That's why I'm more bullish on interactive meetings than just these one-sided meetings. We do physical meetings and then more of a meeting room we can interact in subsequent time. But from time to time, we have short meetings like this just to talk about certain ideas. Thank you all for being live. So we're going off now. God bless you and have a wonderful week ahead. Remember, position for anything you want. Don't just pursue. Okay. Have a great day. God bless you.